Brian is the boss and he loves those movies. He's got a collection that rivals Prince Louis. Whether horror, western, or kung fu, Mr. Crisco has an epic collection for you. Brian streams late in the dark of the night, surrounded by friends and strangers bold and bright. Above the moon shines with a ghoulish glow, reflecting fast cuts at page, transitioning what we know. Brian's movie nights, Brian's movie nights. Best get into a chair and get out of sight, because you're blocking the view of the extravaganza of film slew. Brian brings out the best of Western film, and his thoughts smolder like a kiln. He reflects the future and the past, of which of this art will hold and last. Brian's movie nights, Brian's movie nights. Just get into a chair and get out of sight, because you're blocking the view of the extravaganza of film slew. Brian brings out the best of Western film, and his thoughts smolder like a kiln. As he reflects the future and the past, of which of this art will hold and last. Brian's movie nights, Brian's movie nights. Just get into a chair and get out of sight, because you're blocking the view of the extravaganza of film slew. Now there's just one thing I wanna know: how Brian's neighbors feel. Oh, do they think his house is like the one in the burbs? Oh, what a fright! Brian's movie nights, Brian's movie nights. Just get into a chair and get out of sight, because you're blocking the view of the extravaganza of film slew.
But Brian, who are those? Are those your daughters? If someone would be concerned because they look like vampires, and watch for Evan and Emma, make them try to hire a Shinto ninja assassin gunman grenadier with a hacksaw grenade launcher for the birthday slight, or be on LRJ's ethical show.
Can I tell you something?
What? Fuck you.
I was forced to retreat to this castle. Mankind is made up of inferior creatures, spiritually and physically deformed, who would have corrupted the harmony of my perfect body. Body, my perfect body, my perfect body, perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body. Mankind is made up of inferior creatures, spiritually and physically deformed. My vengeance needs blood.
It was completely lost.
My vengeance needs blood.
It was completely lost.
My vengeance needs blood. My perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, perfect body, my perfect my body, my perfect body, my perfect body.
It was completely lost.
My vengeance means blood.
It was completely lost.
My vengeance means blood. My perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, my vengeance means blood, perfect body, my perfect body, my perfect body, my vengeance means blood. I was forced to retreat to this castle. Mankind is made up of inferior creatures, spiritually and physically deformed, who would have corrupted the harmony of my perfect body.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Black Prince, bastard sword. Step things up a level. I must out. Die große Messiah.
Motor kalau dia kalau dia hey Lele buku jauh baik dong kamu kalau baik buku no kamu jauh tu wer kau boleh lere ini buku jauh besar kau komil buku besar tu wer boy, mato ko boy. Maro boss.
If you enjoy this content and want to support this channel, a great way to do that is to back my comic book, Six Gun Gorilla, Long Days of Vengeance. The critically acclaimed tale of a very big ape with very big guns, blowing very big holes, and very bad people, I'm so confident that you're going to love this book, you can download the entire first issue for free. You can find it right now on fundmycomic.com. What's up, everybody? What's going on? Yeah, I'm a little late, in case you hadn't noticed. What's up, everyone? What's going on? I'm a little disheveled, a little out of sorts, a little discombobulated, but I'm here, and thanks for tuning in. I was just gonna berate him for not being here, for being a bad friend, but. That's my boy. That's my boy Matt. What's going on, son? Oh, I think he's muted. He might be in his car or some shit. Anyway, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Oh, there he is. What's up?
Hello, brother. What's going on?
Not much. Other than just a lot of like miscellaneous crap. Sorry I didn't make it for MMB last night, but I was consumed with other shit, mainly working crappy remote digital job. I shouldn't complain about working a remote job. It means I don't have to commute. But, still find things to fucking bitch and piss and moan about. What about yourself, bro? How are you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Just been working and been working on some pages. Get some Hell War done,
Oh yeah.
Did a little bit of world building today.
Do you want to give us a little preview, a little teaser, tickle our ass with a feather a little bit with a little bit of that art?
Yeah, I can show you what I'm inking right now.
What up, K-pop?
Too much, but
some person. Dude, I can't see dick because of your background. Your background.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
It's okay. Wait, a little bit. Oh, there we go. I see you got some Jack Kirby shit going on.
If I spoil too much, it's like right towards the end of the book, so.
Right. No, I mean, it fucks with me because it's like, it's like I've got the colors for like the last pages of Six Gun. And hopefully Ollie is lettering those. I sent him the letters and the pages and all that crap. So hopefully shit will be done soon. And I want to show those pages badly, just to let people know, like, hey, look, these are the last pages. Like, the shit is done.
Yeah.
But then you don't want to give it away.
Exactly. It's hard. Like, I wish I was doing drawing streams, like, 70 pages ago, because I've been working out pretty good for me,
Right.
But,
well, I mean,
it's what it is.
I think Shanta's the guy that kind of perfected that. He also has the ability to draw and gab at the same time. Do you find that like a difficult thing to do?
I'm starting to learn how to do it. I've only done it like twice or 3 times now.
Right.
But yeah, I could do it as long as there's something to talk about,
Right. As long as there's like shit going down for you to to bring up. Oh yeah, some person says, reminds me of Dads with Swords. Dads with Swords. Is that like a YouTube video or something?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I guess he's sort of referring to my Tamashagiri.
Yeah, right.
I miss the Tamashagiri. Oh man, and it is pool noodle execution season right now, and it's killing me because there are all these like pool noodles out there in dire need of being like hacked to pieces with my my Chesa katana. But I don't have like the actual Tamashagiri stand anymore, and I do have my Chesa katana, which is like kind of like it's like a regular katana, but the blade's just a little bit wider because it's designed specifically. Yeah, so it's like on the blade heavy side for katanas because it's designed specifically for chopping through shit.
Chopping it up.
Yeah, because you basically it's like when you're striking with a sword, like the heavier the blade is, you just like let the weight of the weapon kind of do the work.
Nice.
Right? You kind of throw it and then just let the blade just do the follow through. And yeah, I miss that. Miss chopping up tatami mats. Tatami mats are fucking expensive though. I've only chopped up a few of those. Find a place that had cheap tatami mats, man. It'd be fucking just executing mountains of those things. But I need to, get a new. But then again, it's like in the town where I live now, it's like I don't know where I could do tamashigiri, right?
Yeah.
Because I can't do it in the park, right? Because if I do it in the park, people are going to see and they're going to freak out and they're going to call the cops and the police station is right next door and I don't want to get riddled with fucking gunfire.
Right.
Right.
Because
we're talking about American cops here. If they thought there was any danger, they'd be like, running from it. But if there's a guy with a sword and he's like really, really far away and they've got sniper rifles and shit, what do they got to worry about? Right? They can shoot me first and ask questions later. So then I could maybe, I don't know, go like, there's some like nice hiking trails out here. Maybe I could go on a hiking trail. But then if somebody just comes up the hiking trail and sees me with a sword, then they might freak out.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a guy out there with a sword. It's just,
you don't have like a backyard where you're at right now, like a back parking lot or something?
No, I'm rocking the fucking apartment life for the first time in a long time. Last time I was rocking an apartment was in New York City.
New York.
Of course, it was a fraction of the size of this one and cost 5 times as much in terms of rent.
You see the Spider Noir trailer?
Yeah,
looks awesome. It looks like Sin City.
That's that's clearly what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
And it's here's the thing. That whole the green screen thing, and I love the original Sin City, right? The original Sin City is awesome. Odd little fucking story, comic book related, is that I remember when that came out on DVD. When you went to Best Buy, if you bought the DVD, you got a free Sin City comic book with it.
Oh yeah, I remember that,
which was awesome.
Yeah,
right. And I
still
thought,
have it.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah, well, at least the one I had, it came with the DVD. It was like a special edition. It came with the small version of The Hard Goodbye, like a manga-sized edition of it. Pretty cool.
And in this case, it was a regular-sized comic book.
Oh, wow.
And what they did was they had They had two standees, right?
Yeah.
And one of them had the movie, and the other one had the free comic book.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, it's like you grab the DVD and then you grab the comic book if you want the comic book. And the thing is, a lot of people didn't want the comic book. And I discovered this as I was like on my way to the register. A guy's like, "Ooh, Sin City, where'd you get that?" I'm like, "Oh, they got them over there. Oh, and don't forget to grab your free comic." And this motherfucker, he looks at me like when I show him the comic, and you know what his reaction is? Ugh.
Really?
Yeah. And the free comic. Ugh.
What a fag. That's funny.
What a fag. I mean, just another filthy.
You haven't seen a book with pictures? It's funny.
I don't know what it was, because it wasn't like the guy was not a member of the ruling class, right? Because when you're dealing with people in the ruling class, they're like, comics, ew, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a bookstore nearby me, and they have like little events, where people are, launching books or doing book signings. And, reading is very much a class thing in America, right? that when you walk into a bookstore and you don't look like you're a member of like the ruling class or the upper middle class, people look at you real fucking funny. Like, what are you doing here? Right? Reading is a class-based activity in America. It's not like, and as for comic books, well, I mean, shit, where do you even begin with that, right? You go to Japan and everybody's reading comic books like everywhere.
Right.
But here, so it's like, like this guy owns the bookstore. He mentions to like one of the patrons, like, oh yeah, like Brian's an author, and they're like, this chick's like, oh really? Suddenly all fucking on my shit, right? And it's like, oh really? What do you write? I'm like, comic books. She's like, oh.
Yeah, people are stupid as fuck. It's like, you guys know that like cartoons and comics were like for adults, right? Like that's how they originated in our country, right?
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Like 90% of people don't know that. It's funny.
Remember, we live in a country where books that were originally printed with illustrations, they take the illustrations out, right? Like Through the Looking Glass by the Reverend Charles Dodson, aka Lewis Carroll, right? That he did original illustrations for that. The Little Prince, although The Little Prince you usually do see reprinted with the illustrations, now that I think of it. The Narnia novels, right? So many books came with illustrations. Like, it was a cool thing to have illustrations in your books.
Oh, for sure.
As a matter of fact, check this out.
I think all books should have a little illustrations in them. Fuck it.
Right. But then that means that you're a retard.
Yeah.
Because you're like you're reading a book with pictures, so that means that you're stupid.
Yeah.
So that's why they take the
you're stupid.
It's like, no, you're stupid.
Some person said there's a solution to that. Lightsabers. People use those in public all the time. The downside is being mocked.
Yeah, and also just not being cool. I mean, look, I'm not a Star Wars nerd, right? The way I understand Star Wars nerddom is I look at Star Wars nerds and I think to myself, oh, they feel about Star Wars the way that I feel about like the original George Romero Dead trilogy, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, right? The way that I feel about those movies, that's how they feel about Star Wars. First Star Wars I liked. I mean, I was a really little kid, mind you, like really, really little. I told you like how like I just seen a commercial on TV and I was like, oh my God, it's a werewolf in a spaceship.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It's a werewolf in a spaceship.
Yeah,
Mom, will you take me to see that?
I'll go see that.
And my mom was awesome that way. She'd take me to see anything I wanted to see, even if it was R-rated. Just didn't give a fuck. So I got to see Conan the Barbarian in the theater when that came out when I was a kid. I got to see Alien when that came out when I was like in like the 5th or 6th grade, right? Watched most of it like this, like through my fingers.
The Terrifier.
What was that? What, you took your kids to see Terrifier?
No. I said you were terrified. The Terrifier.
I was fucking shitting myself.
I still need to watch Terrifier 2 or 3. I haven't seen 3 yet.
3 is good. 3 is good. Not as good as 2.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to get the third movie,
Yeah, but here's the interesting thing is that it's kind of the second one in the sense that the first movie was the movie that Damien Leone made with the money that he had. He made the movie that he could, right?
Right.
And this is a thing that's important for indie artists to understand is compromise, right? As an artist, you don't want to compromise, but sometimes you just have to make the thing that you can with what you have at that moment, right? And so, he made a short film, and then he made the first Terrifier, but Terrifier 2 was the movie he originally wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so, in a sense, Terrifier 3 is kind of the middle movie, and if you look at it that way.
He says he wants to make another one too.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it ends like on a very open note. Like it ends in such a way where you understand that it's a part one.
Yeah.
Right? Where you realize, like, okay, yeah, like where you would be mad or you would feel cheated if you didn't know, like, oh, okay, this is supposed to be a continuing story. We're going to get the rest of the story with the next one, and the next one I'm assuming is going to be the last film in the series, or at least the last film in the series. I'm hoping by Leone because I want to see him do other shit.
Yeah.
But then, of course, there's, Art the Clown ain't going nowhere. He's like herpes.
No.
he's like luggage. he ain't going nowhere, man. So, if they keep making let other directors make Art the Clown 8, 9, 10. Yeah, did you see that? Did you see that mock-up poster that someone did of Art the Clown in space?
Huh. I mean, I've just seen Art the Clown stuff all over.
Well, oh, dude. I mean, it was a fake movie poster that somebody made because you know how every horror franchise ends up in outer space?
Yeah.
Right?
Like
Leprechaun, Hellraiser was the first one, was Hellraiser 4.
Hellraiser
right?
in space. Space Razor.
Yeah, which I thought was dog shit when it first came out. And I think that movie's actually aged pretty well. And especially when you take into consideration that everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong while they were making that picture. Like the actors turned out had an allergy to, like there was something about something in the makeup, the latex or whatever it was they were using that was making people break out into rashes. And then the producers were coming in going shomp, 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 like chopping down the fucking budget. Right, which always fucks up a movie because it's just like somebody goes in and they've got a script for like a $20 million movie, and next thing they know, they're making a $5 million movie, and then they're making a $2 million movie.
Yeesh.
Yeah, so it's just like, well, at least like Romero, for instance, knew that like with Day of the Dead, he had written that as like a $20 million movie, but then he was just like, okay, well, they're not going to let me do the gore.
Yeah.
So I'll just go in and make a $4 million movie instead. But then he got to go in and rewrite the script.
Right.
As opposed to like being in the middle of shooting a $20 million movie and then only having like $2 million.
It sucks.
Really sucks. But yeah, anyway, check this out. So talking about books and pictures. This is a copy of At the Earth's Core.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's Placidor. It's funny you're putting that on. Like, we were watching John Carter yesterday. The kids love that movie. I've only seen it like once all the way through, and then I watched it a second time, like part of it with my daughter. It's fucking cool, man. And we were watching it again, but we stopped, and I was just telling like, look at man, this is Conan, and like this is what He-Man in Star Wars, like got their shit,
Oh,
total,
dude, so influential, so influential.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie's like it's not the John Carter movie I always wanted.
Yeah, I could imagine that, and I was like, it's probably good. And I told the kids it's probably going to be the best John Carter movie we're ever going to get.
Oh, it is because we're never getting another one.
No, and the budget, like they look good, like the Martian, it looks good,
Taras Tarkas, I was hoping that Taras Tarkas and his people, like the Quattros, I was hoping that they would be a little bigger, right? Because they were described as being giants, and then I see Taras Tarkas show up, and he's just kind of like human sized, and I was just like, what the.
Well, some of the scenes maybe. Some of the scenes maybe. Sometimes though, they you're talking about the green ones, right?
Yeah.
Because they're some scenes are fucking taller than him, dude. Like a lot taller than him, and sometimes they're not. So there might be some inconsistency.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I noticed that.
Interesting. Disney just fucking dumped that movie, man. They just dumped it.
Well, dude, I was looking at them like they can make a sequel to this still. You know what I mean? Like Taylor Kitsch still looks good. A lot of the people are still around. They're doing good. So,
but anyway, yeah, I was talking about like pictures and illustrations and books.
Burroughs.
This is, by the way, this is a book from 1922.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah, check this out.
Over 100 years old. Oh, I can't see it, man. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's I also
loving the ink work in there. Oh yeah.
Yeah, also, I have to fucking... Hold on. Let me see if I can...
I don't. I'm always talking about going digital and stuff like that, but now I'm starting to like not want to go digital again.
Oh,
man.
dude. Well, look, the way I see it, it's a tool just like anything else, and Pellucidar is the shit. As much as Barsoom,
yeah.
Mars is
Yeah.
like probably like the third greatest fictional universe or world.
Yeah.
Right after Middle Earth and Hyboria.
There's all those races too, man. Like they didn't even tap into. I was like, looking at some stuff online because I'm not a real big John Carter fan, but I always thought because of the movie it was fucking awesome, And
those novels are fun. Those novels are fucking fun. Although dude, one of my favorite Frazettas, dude.
It's him. It's obviously Frazetta. Like there's this one of him has John Carter. It's like the most Frazetta like insert I've ever seen in my life. And he's just like jumping through the air and he's swinging a sword back behind him. I was like, that's Frank Frazetta.
Oh, for fucking sure, dude.
Hey, dude, did you hear the Shadow's going to go into public domain next year?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that. The Shadow, God.
Yeah, Razor just dropped a new Shadowcast because he's got that Shadowcast podcast. He's like the only one. At least he started it. He was like the first one to do it. But
right. No, he was.
He started it. And,
also Solomon Kane stan, and has done a lot for raising awareness of Solomon Kane. Let me show you this. This is one of my absolute favorite Frazetta paintings, and it's from At the Earth's Core, and it's from a scene that's really, really, really fucked up. Because like anybody that knows anything knows that at the Earth's core, what's at the Earth's core? People think it's magma, right? That it's like molten rock.
Yeah,
fucking idiots. Anybody with any sense knows what's at the center of the Earth. Fucking dinosaurs,
right?
And ape men and these telepathic pterodactyl men.
That's cool.
Wait, this called the Mahars.
That's cool. See, that's what I was doing today, Brian. I was like thinking because I want to start doing like world building and create like a whole like cool world, But I'm trying to think of the stuff that I like and what's been done. Oh yeah, I've seen this one a bunch. Yeah, I like this one because you never know what it is,
Well, here's the thing: if you've read this book, you know exactly what this is. And you know like what's happening here and what's gonna happen. And that is one of the Mahars, one of like the telepathic pterodactyl men.
Oh
right?
wow.
And that girl is Lunch.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
And so what the Mahars do is they get their sacrificial victims of humans, right? Which are usually, of course, beautiful young women, right? What every monster, what do they want? They want the beautiful young woman, right? And what the Mahars do is they, or at least in this scene, is this Mahar paralyzes this woman like with its hypnotic gaze, right? It basically
like Sauron, huh? From X-Men, remember? From the Savage Land?
Yeah. Sauron from the Savage Land is absolutely a fucking Mahar. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, right?
Totally.
Right. So he paralyzes this woman, right? So, but she's completely conscious. She knows everything that's going on. And then it grabs her and it takes her into the water and swims around with her. And you see her body moving through the water. And her head, and it's like suddenly her head bops up and half of her face is missing.
Oh, wow.
And then it brings her back down. And every time she comes back up, like another piece of her is missing.
What book is this from?
This one, At the Earth's Core.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, it's the first main novel.
Okay. So is there a main like character in there, a protagonist?
Oh God, I'm trying to remember his name. There's a few actually. You watch the movie, of course, with Doug McClure and what's his face, fucking Peter Cushing and Caroline Monroe looking smoking hot, by the way.
And what movie is this?
At the Earth's Core.
Okay, I keep thinking Turning into the Center of the Earth, but that's like totally different.
Oh, that's actually, it's not totally different because it is by the same. It's also based on a Edgar Rice Burroughs novel.
Oh shit!
And the people who made a movie of that also made a movie of this. They're kind of like British kaiju movies. That would be like the best way I could describe them.
Oh, yeah,
David Innes.
What up, Edward?
David Innes is like the manly macho hero of the At the Earth's Core novels, and then he has his professor friend, Dr. Abner Perry. He's the guy who creates the drilling device that goes down into the Earth and reaches Pellucidar. Although actually Pellucidar can also be reached by dirigible. That is to say, when Tarzan goes to Pellucidar, there's like an entrance at the top of the world, and all you have to do is just kind of like start to go into like this cave and just keep flying straight, and it kind of goes in a spiral, and it leads you like down into Pellucidar. I mean, like, you know what my dream comic is? It's Six Gun Gorilla versus Tarzan in Pellucidar. That's my shit. That's my shit. If I could ever make that happen.
Why not?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Shadow's going public domain.
But I mean, like, as far as the Shadow, like, is it just the first Shadow story, or is it like anything you want? Because usually it falls by like the publication of what that year is, respectively. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing about the Shadow. The Shadow is one of those characters that's like the Lone Ranger. He doesn't come from print. He comes from radio. I don't know if you've ever heard any of the old radio plays. The Shadow knows. And he was sort of a character that was perfect for radio. Yeah. Because his power wasn't exactly clear. It wasn't. That's why when they've done the Shadow in movie serials or in like the movie that came out in like the early 90s, it's kind of difficult to visualize his power because his power isn't cinematic. It's something that's happening in the heads of his victims.
Right.
Right.
Like a magician. Well, I mean, it just kind of depends on the person writing it, but most of the time he's like a hypnotist, basically. Hypnotist, right?
Right. So it's not like he's like, coming out of the shadows or disappearing, or 1 second he's here, 1 second he's there. That's just your perception if you're like an evildoer and like he's out to fuck with you, which of course, if you're an evildoer, he is out to fuck with you big time.
From the Alec Baldwin one, he was doing that a lot, For me, it's like I agree with you too, but I also kind of like the whole like suspension of disbelief. It's like maybe because there's been so many people that write it and like different takes on it and radio shows, and at one point he was bigger than Batman, and no one even knows who he is now. One year they had 3 movies that came out, and like everyone in the neighborhood would be listening to the Shadow. You would go outside and you would just hear the same radio show. And for me writing the Shadow, he could definitely fucking do that. Like he's definitely got mysticism. He's a hypnotist. Like if I ever did my take on it, fuck yeah. And he's packing some heat too.
Oh well, the dual 45s. Every pulp hero had the dual 45.
Everybody.
That's why when people were like, "No, Batman kills. Batman was made with guns." It's just like, it's because he was a ripoff of the fucking Shadow.
He was, 100%. So was the Spider.
So was this. I mean, all.
It was also like a ripoff of the Black Bat. That Black Bat was fucking cool, man. I got into the Black Bat. They redid it for like modern audiences with Dynamite, but I kind of dug it, to be honest with you. I didn't really like the art. The covers were cool, but I liked the concept that he was a blind lawyer. It's a lot like Daredevil, and it came out before Daredevil,
Yes. And there are some characters that are pulp characters that you can take and you can put them in the modern day, and there are other ones you just can't.
Shadow would be hard to do.
Shadow, you can't do that. Can't do that with the Shadow. One character that they've done that with, and it never fucking works, Doc Savage. Doc Savage needs to be in like the 1930s or 1940s.
They all kind of do in a way, but I also feel that like they've been dead because it's a feat that's almost impossible to do, and no one's done it, and that's bringing them into the modern audience. It could be done. I'm gonna just go right out and say it could
Raiders
be
of
done.
the Lost Ark.
But it's damn impossible. But that thin, how do I put it? It's 90.
That actually like gets some love.
I love that movie, man. I like all those 90s fucking pulp, rehashers.
Post Batman movies, yeah. When suddenly it was like, well, it's like when Superman the movie came out in '79. That led to like the Lone Ranger movie coming out, and also the Zorro movie that was made by the Italians, which is actually my favorite Zorro movie.
What's your favorite?
Yeah, for sure. It's the one with Elaine Delon that was directed by, I want to say Damiano. I forget. I can't. Yeah, no. It's like, but one of the guys that was a spaghetti. Duccio Tassari. Duccio Tassari was the director of the one that I'm thinking of. With Elaine Delon, and so it's just like you have a hit, and so then you have copycats. It's kind of like one of the reasons why we got the best boom ever for fantasy and science fiction movies was in 80, 81, and 82 was because Star Wars had been a hit in 77. And Conan would never have gotten greenlit. Excalibur never would have gotten greenlit. Blade Runner.
Everything else.
Pretty much. Yeah. Because, we had that sword and sorcery boom. Dragon Slayer.
That was a good one. Beastmaster.
All of those movies. Right. None because people creative people looked at Star Wars and they were just like, well, this isn't really science fiction. This is fantasy science fiction. This is sword and sorcery, but like in outer space.
Okay,
with, like, laser guns and laser swords.
Nice.
Oh, what up, Edwin? As a matter of fact,
Edwin's in there. K-pop.
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. I actually haven't read this yet, so I apologize. But
I think I'm still waiting on mine. I think I am.
Really?
Possibly. I'm not sure.
Fucking Edwin. piece of shit. We'll check it out. I'll flaunt mine. And I got the second issue too, although I don't have that handy.
I love the Ace, man.
Yeah. Nice cover. Nice paper. Let me give it the sniff test.
We got it.
Yeah, no, I mean, not that I rank or judge books on their stank or lack of stank, but you know me, I'm a book sniffer. And look at those colors, man. It's just pop. I know that.
Oh, wow, they do. Damn,
right?
That's awesome.
Nice quality paper, too. I really like this.
I love Ibai's art, too, man. So
cool.
Isn't it
great? Yeah, he is without a doubt. Canales. Yeah, without a doubt. Canales is always fucking great. He's like one of the major talents in our scene. For Sheezy. But yeah, I missed the first campaign and I got the second, and I think the third one is closed, although I don't think I backed that. Not that I didn't want to. Can't back everything.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Well, I mean, yeah, but also it's just like, sometimes I have money, sometimes I don't. Nice Kirby crackle on this one right here. This is by Bob Hall. Nice little prints here. This one's by Alan Alonso. Got a nice severed monster head there. But yeah, congrats on getting this out. Everyone, thanks for getting these to me. Like I said, I haven't read these yet. Right now, I've been reading this. Been reading the Midwich Cuckoos, which you might know as was adapted as Village of the Damned. It's this is where like all of the women in a small Cornish village. Well, first of all, everybody in the village for like about 24 hours falls asleep. And it's like a zone, like an actual line. If you cross the line, you'll become unconscious.
Wow.
And, some weeks later, they discover that all of the women of childbearing age are pregnant.
Yeesh.
And you've never seen Village of the Damned? You don't know the story I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. With,
Okay.
John Carpenter's, and it's got Christopher.
Oh God!
Reeve in it.
Yeah, you don't want to watch that first.
I've seen that in the movie theater, dude.
Oh God!
Yeah.
So did I, and I was just like, dude, what the? Well, I mean, here's the thing: Carpenter admitted he just directed that because it was like the last movie in his contract with, I think, Alive Entertainment. But it's just a completely unnecessary remake, and there's no passion in it, right? The original Village of the Damned is just so much goddamn creepier. And then there's the sequel, Children of the Damned. And there was like a new series, actually, a new BBC adaptation of Midwich Cuckoos, which was set in the modern day. And it was good. It wasn't great. But yeah, they've been putting out these John Wyndham novels with these like new covers.
Yeah.
And they're pretty cool. And Wyndham's actually probably best known for Midwich Cuckoos and Day of the Triffids, which is like a classic apocalyptic horror novel. But yeah, I love this guy's stuff. What's great is like all of his books, they're science fiction, but he's like H.G. Wells, which is to say you'll find his books in the science fiction section, but they're really horror. Right? Like The Time Machine. Oh, it's a time machine. It's science fiction. Yeah, but then you've got the Morlocks.
Yeah.
Right? They're eating the fucking Eloy. And it's just like, no, this is like a horror novel. Or Island of Dr. Moreau, right? It's just like, oh, it's about a guy that's trying to like evolutionarily uplift animals. It's a fucking horror story. Right. War of the Worlds, horror. Invisible Man, horror, right? And Wyndham is no different, man. Really great shit. But yeah, really quickly, since I brought this up, I should show you this little piece of At the Earth's Core, and you have an idea of what a British kaiju movie looks like.
It was the scientific marvel of the century, a mighty juggernaut to blast through the solid rock of the Earth's mantle
At a rate of 78 feet per minute.
My boy,
miles
my
into
boy, my boy Peter Cushing. And yeah, so they made a bunch of these movies, and for some reason, Doug McClure is in all of them.
heart of our planet.
We've been on top of the Earth long enough. It's about time we found out what's underneath. News cutters. Listeners activating now.
Grand scale.
Yeah, and I mean, there better be some Carolyn Monroe in this. There has to be, right? Because you would go to the fucking Earth's core to fucking get to her, especially if she's rocking like a fur bikini.
Adventure from the world's favorite writer of fascinating fiction, Edgar Rice Burroughs' At the Earth's Core, the astounding discovery of a strange, forbidding land.
Yeah, so basically these are kind of like British kaiju movies, and they were all based on Edgar Rice Burroughs stories. There's The People That Time Forgot.
What is that?
I might get that mixed up with another one. But anyway, there's one of these where there are they're in this palace on this mysterious island. And not to be confused with the Jules Verne story. And there are these like fiendish people in there, right? And they have these tapestries, and it's the funniest thing. The tapestries, they're all Frank Frazetta paintings.
Oh, nice.
I've only seen it before in fossilized form.
But they did not ask him for permission for that shit. I don't think.
Primeval nightmare world whose shadows hid the nameless terrors that were yet to come.
Yeah. This is what I'm talking about the kaiju.
Ah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Man in rubber suit.
That's
Man
a
in
kaiju.
rubber suit. Yes, K-pop. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. That's my waifu you're talking about. No, actually, Barbara Steele's kind of my waifu. But I can have more than one wife, right? Is there a rule that says you can only have one waifu?
Waifu.
Humans of another age, chained in bondage by an army of ape men, preyed upon
Yeah, the ape men are called the Sagoths.
by monstrous giants.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, these are like giant boar men.
Oh, man,
Going
that's
at it.
terrifying.
Bondage by an army of ape men, preyed upon by monstrous giants.
Preyed upon by monstrous giants. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, these movies are fucking goofy as fuck.
That's pretty badass, though, dude. He's got a big flamethrower in his mouth. It's pretty cool.
Yep. See ya. Damn.
Yeah, no, I'm with it.
Caroline, my waifu, and wearing a nice little hide outfit and looking sweaty too. I love when she looks sweaty.
But Hooja, the sly one, will lead Jubal, the ugly one, back here.
I heard about him.
David, he will kill you.
Caroline Monroe, my waifu.
What him, David?
I mean, at least they're smacking shit
throwing some
with
shrooms.
props. You know what I'm saying?
What was that?
At least they're smacking each other with props and stuff. You know what I mean? And smoke
Yeah.
and mirrors and you know what I mean? On set.
Behind a barrier of molten lava, an empire of evil, an inferno ruled by winged
Yeah, they're the Mayhars right here. And I remember as a kid, I always thought of
Dope.
these as like Doug
I'd watch this,
movies.
bro. I would. No, I
You've
would
seen
watch
these?
this. I would watch this. I'm saying.
Oh, dude, you can find the shit on Tubi, and it's kid friendly.
Oh, is it? That's cool.
Yeah. You absolutely could watch this stuff with your kids.
Yeah.
creatures like guardians.
In fact, I would argue that these kind of are kids' movies.
Yeah.
Because this was at a time also like when kaiju movies in Japan weren't for adults anymore. Like the kaiju genre started out as like a horror genre, right? Like the very first Godzilla, the very first Gamera movie is a horror movie. And then it's like adults just weren't down with kaiju anymore. But who always had Godzilla's back? The fucking tippy ties, the fucking kids. They always had Godzilla's back. They always had Gamera's back.
An inferno ruled by winged creatures like guardians of the gates of hell. A host of Satans, nourished by the flesh of sacrificial maidens.
Nourished by the flesh of sacrificial maidens. Remember the Frazetta painting I was telling you about?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so I remember seeing this as a kid, and the whole time I'm thinking, this is just like another regular one of these like Doug McClure movies. And then they introduced the Mayhars, and I'm like, what in the actual fuck? Like, this is like kind of fucking cool and kind of fucking creepy.
Scoop her up.
Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos, of course. What does David Innes do when he gets to the Earth's core? He fucking takes control of shit. Leads an uprising with Dr. Adam.
Starring Doug McClure, Peter Cushing, Caroline Monroe. Take the most terrifying journey of your life. Edgar Rice Burroughs at the Earth's core.
It's like, yeah, we just showed you the climax of the movie where the Empire of the Mayhars goes boom, but you're coming to see the kaiju. You're coming to see Caroline Monroe, hopefully. Well, I always thought Caroline Monroe's in there basically for the kids' dads. Right?
Yeah. It's funny. The eye candy.
Yeah, well, I mean, because usually, I mean, I don't know, man. 6th grade, there were already some. Because I'm trying to remember like the age at which I discovered girls, or when girls started looking interesting to me. Yeah. I know that like I think, yeah, no, it was definitely Linda Carter and Wonder Woman. And when she would run, I just remember just getting this warm, fuzzy feeling. I'm feeling like, oh, hello. Like, I think I like girls. I think it's like, I used to think girls are kind of icky, but
Not her.
you know that age. You know that age when girls aren't icky to you anymore. Then when that starts happening, and it happens so much faster. It happens so much sooner than anybody warns you of. But oh yeah, check this out. So Ebon Press, fucking Ebon Press. They're the guys. It's one guy, Stephen Romano, that's been doing comic books based on Lucio Fulci movies for decades.
I love their stuff, man. I got to follow them on Twitter.
Well, now he's coming out with a bunch of new shit.
Love the art in there, man. It's so good.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
Check this out. This is really, really look, this is a guy who's really, really fucked in the head because, he did that Maniac comic, Maniac adaptation, which was awesome.
Right.
And in it, he had the New York Ripper.
Yeah, the crossover, right?
Like a crossover. Like suddenly, Joe Zito, the character that's in Maniac, is in the Fulci-verse.
Yeah.
Right? And I was just like, this makes no sense, but I'm with it.
I'm going to make this happen.
Make it happen. Right, because why the fuck not?
Who's going to stop me?
Yeah, and so the New York Ripper actually jacks one of Zito's kills.
Oh.
And it's just
hell no.
carving her up and butchering her right in front of him. He's like, no, you're ruining her beauty forever. Because he's all about killing the chicks and then scalping them and nailing the scalps onto onto the mannequins, and that way he's like preserved their beauty and their loveliness forever, and they will never leave him. Anyway, check this out. This is New York Ripper 2. He's doing a sequel. He's not only doing a New York Ripper comic, he's doing a New York Ripper 2.
And that's the comic right there, the cover?
This is the promo poster. This is like the VHS kind of a thing.
For the comic though, right?
For the comic.
That's pretty cool. Huh.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And let's see.
I remember the duck. That's cool.
You made me kill her.
That movie
Vile.
Yeah, Vile.
That's like one of the movies.
Insidious.
I think that's like one of like that was too much even for you.
Yeah.
Right. And that is like, I've always said that if I could like get my hands on some SJWs or better yet, some Zoomers now, right? Because they're even more sensitive, right? And just like strap them down in a theater and make them watch a movie that would just drive them insane. Clockwork Orange style, like Ludovico technique, right? With their eyes pried open and the drops and everything.
Yeah.
If I had to subject any pussified human being to a movie that's just with a deliberate intention of fucking them up, it would be New York Ripper.
It would be New York Ripper.
It would be New York Ripper. Specifically because it's like, it's just when something like American Psycho came out, I'm talking about the novel, everybody was hopping, screaming mad. You thought it was like the end of the world. They were like, this is misogynistic trash. Right?
Yeah.
And I was like an English lit major at the time. And so everybody was talking about it in the English department at Binghamton, but nobody was actually reading it.
Right.
And I'd be like, oh, well, I read it. And they're like, you did? Right? Like I'd done something wrong. I'm like, yeah, and actually,
You tell.
I think it's actually, I think it's a classic. Like I think it's brilliant. Like I think
What
that
they say after that?
what do you know, they just kind of like gave me a look. That's all I can remember. I can't. I mean, I'm sure they said something, but it wasn't pleasant, and I know that they moved away from me quickly afterwards.
Crazy, huh?
You know? Oh God, yeah. I remember having this
And you
conversation.
read comic books,
Dude. You wonder why I never got laid in fucking college? I'm at like a art opening, right? Where like some of the art students are having like a show, right? And so there's like a little gallery there, and I'm there for the free wine and cheese. But there's this chick there, and she's from like the English department. And we get to talking, and this is what always happened to me. I'd be hitting it off with some chick that seemed genuinely cool and interesting, and not hard on the eyes, and something would happen to freak them out. And on that occasion, it was somehow American Psycho came up. I was like, oh yeah, I read it. Yeah. It's actually really brilliant. I actually think that it's a classic. I actually think it's an instant classic. And suddenly, boom, that was it. She was gone. Right?
I don't need this chauvinist in my life.
Yeah, yeah. Or I was seeing this one chick, or at least starting to see her, and I got her in my car, taking her out to dinner, and I throw on some Sisters of Mercy, some Fields of the Nephilim, and her head turns and she looks at me and she says, "It figures you would listen to some weird shit like this."
Oh man.
I was a gentleman, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to just slam on the brakes and be like, "Get out." Yeah, bitch, you are walking home.
Sometimes you gotta make a bitch walk home, dude.
Yeah, but I was a pussy at this time. You have to understand that. Yeah, I was a romantic. You know what I'm saying? I was
nice guy, Brian.
I was looking for true love. Well, no, I mean, nice guy, I was a chump. This was what I'm saying. I was a chump. I was a jabroni, and but yeah, people like that, they need to be subjected to some New York Ripper. But yeah, so it's just like, well, no, we're not talking about that Ripple. Although much love to him, because he's given much love to me, and much love to Six Gun Gorilla.
He launched a new book today, today or yesterday. He launched a new book.
He did, didn't he?
An anthology with a lot of big YouTubers.
He's killing it, and looks like he and Mark Millar might be doing something too.
Yeah, I think so. I could see that happening. I think they were talking on Twitter or some shit.
Big ups, of course, to our boy Narwhal once again. Did issue 2 of Vatican City come out yet?
I think it comes out on Wednesday. A lot of shit's coming out on Wednesday, man. It's going to be a heavy reading day for me.
Oh, dude, you're killing me with those fucking Conan comic reviews. Oh,
Conan should be coming in.
Oh, they look so dope, and my LCS doesn't carry any of that shit.
Yeah, I love that community, man. They've been like coming out and showing up for the reviews. I got like probably 100 Howard followers now from that, or subs, And then the archaeologist that writes a lot of the stuff in the back, he says what's up in the chat or in the comments.
Nice. Well, look, it's a fandom whose time has come, and it's interesting because I remember when Lovecraft was like a cult author, right?
Yeah.
But like nobody had heard of him until like Reanimator came out, right?
Yeah.
And then some people like sort of knew the name. And I remember reading his biography, and it was by L. Sprogdekamp, who is a name, if you're like a Robert E. Howard guy, a name that many will curse, because it was his job to take Cull stories and turned them into Conan stories.
Oh, gross.
So he was the guy that had that dirty job, you know.
Yeah.
But he wrote a
do what you had to do, though, you know.
Yeah. No, you know, without a doubt, right? Because people didn't want Cull stories; they wanted Conan stories. So they're like, Cull, Conan, what's the difference? Right? Which, if you're a Cull fan, if you're a Robert E. Howard stan, you're just like, what's the difference?
Yeah,
strange.
You have to kind of read them a little bit. Yeah, you got to read them a little bit to kind of really figure it out for yourself, you know.
So Lovecraft now is but anyway, yeah, he said in that book, he said, like, well, you know, where do I see Lovecraft going in terms of like his reputation? Because it was like in the gutter at that time when he wrote that book.
Okay.
And he was like, you know, I think he might overtake Poe. And I remember rolling my eyes at that and thinking, I can't see that happening. Because Lovecraft I remember thinking, was just too weird, right? Too weird. There's no way he's overtaking Poe. He's overtaking Poe.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Ask your average person, like, especially I would think like a Zoomer or like anybody that's like under the age of like 30. You know, who do they know or are they more familiar with, Poe or Lovecraft? They're going to say Lovecraft now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which blows my fucking mind. I never thought I would see that shit in my lifetime.
I got into him through Mignola and Guillermo del Toro, you know. And then once you see that, you can't unsee Lovecraft, and it's in everything.
It's in everything.
It's like in everything, and all the Stephen King shit. It's in everything.
Oh my god! You read early Stephen King, and it reads exactly like watered down Lovecraft, you know, which is fine, you know, like Jerusalem's Lot,
which is
an excellent story.
It's kind of like that.
But it's funny because
have a good night, K-pop.
Good night, K-pop. Peace out. Oh wait, no, this is a chat book. Oh, this isn't what I thought it was. I thought this was my Herbert West Reanimator. If you wanted certain H.P. Lovecraft stories, you had to get them like this. You had to get like a bunch of photocopies stapled together. Like, yeah, I'm talking about like the late 80s, early 90s, right? And now his shit is everywhere. And there are so many people that are working now that are getting jobs writing Lovecraft shit, and they don't even know who Lovecraft is. Or at least they haven't encountered his work yet. Vaughn Coleman is working on something, as a matter of fact, that's Lovecraftian. And he just posted on Twitter, he's just like, I don't know, from Lovecraft, like, what should I start reading? And I just told him to get, let's see, where is it? It can't have gotten far. This right here. This is an old printing. You can see it's like fucking falling apart practically. I mean,
oh yeah,
you can tell this has been loved.
Yeah, right.
Look at that binding.
Damn.
Right. Son. This I carried this around with me in high school, man. And yeah, and it was very well loved. But yeah, there is like a contemporary edition. Instead of red, it's like yellow lettering. That's how you can tell like which printing it is. Because these evidently in cherry condition go for a lot on eBay right now. But yeah, I was just like, get this. This is all you need. And because it's got, you know, rats in the walls. It's got Shadow over Innsmouth, Color Out of Space.
Funny, it's like I've seen all those movies. I haven't even read the books.
The Outsider, Pickman's Model. Well, yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. It's like...
Pickman's Model was in like the Cabinet of Curiosities.
Yes, and also an episode of Night Gallery.
What up, Tank? Tank Ferret? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. But yeah, speaking of Vaughn Coleman, the young buck, I just got this in the mail.
Oh, nice. He delivered that pretty quick.
Dude, he's getting these out very quick. He's killing it right now. Arini's killing it. We have quite a few people in our community who are getting books out on the regular that are getting closer and closer to that impossible dream of like quarterly, right? Because I always thought there's no way we're ever going to get to monthly, right?
I want to be able to do quarterly. That would be like a dream.
But quarterly?
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
right now, just annually is my dream right now, and then eventually, twice a year, and then but that would have to switch up a lot of styles. Right now, though, I'm just kind of working on our stuff, or I'm finishing up mine. I'm gonna start lettering and then finishing up the Puritanian. Oh, did you hear about the campaign that Pete Zametti launched on Friday?
Oh, yes. That's on From My Comic, right?
Yeah, well, and one of the tiers is like you could print. Basically, he's going to print a proof of for 48 pages of the story. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I could do like one of the Puritanian. You know what I mean?
That'd be dope.
I don't know what pages we'll be at, but I think it'd be fun. I don't know what format we're going to go with or what, but
right.
When it comes to time, so I might do that, or I might do like a just like an art book of some of my art just for fun, But yeah, man, I've been
checking it out. No, I'm listening, dude. Continue.
I'm working on some world building, man. I came up with some pretty cool things right now. Today, actually, like stuff starting to hit me again. I was starting to give up on it, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I got some ideas now.
Well, sometimes you do need to back away from shit.
Yeah.
And work on something else. That's why it's always good to have like a bunch of irons in the fire. So if you get stuck on one thing, you can just kind of bounce to the other thing, and then always come back fresh.
Oh yeah, 100%. But for me, like the type of thing that I want to do something that's like, like Lord of the Rings and Conan and Cole and Legacy of Kain, like all kinds of shit like that. You know what I mean? And it's all been done. Everything's been done. So it's like I'm trying to like think of something like a new angle, man, and it's been impossible. Normally I have too many ideas, bro. I have to like put a lid on my head all the time. I think,
right. Yeah, me too.
But for this specific, it's been really hard, and it's starting. Things are starting to come together now, And I'm like, fuck yeah, finally, man. And for me, what really helped was kind of visualizing a world in my head, like a map. You know what I mean? And seeing these different places and people, and then I could start to maybe think of some cool stories, and I'm like, okay. For some reason, that was the little groove that got me out of the rut, And so I was like, okay, this is gonna be cool.
Well, dude, like, remember how I told you how like Six Gun Gorilla, how that whole thing just emerged whole cloth into my head? That never happens.
Yeah,
never.
It's coming to you from the ether, from the muse.
Right. Whereas like certain other projects need time to gestate. Sometimes like for instance, for Tequila Moonrise, right, which is the first thing I ever wrote that I thought, well, like, this is professional quality. This is the first good thing I've written, right? Mm-hmm. That had been kicking around in my head for at least 8 years. Mm-hmm. And then one night I saw the Shockmaster. Mm-hmm. You've seen the Shockmaster. You know who the fuck the Shockmaster is,
No,
right?
I don't know who the Shockmaster is.
You don't know who the fuck. Oh, okay. We're gonna fucking take care of that, because
I know what you're talking about, though. Like that's what happened with me with Butch Cleaver. That hit me in one night, like 12 characters. I ran downstairs, just wrote them all down in a notepad, and that was that.
Right, dude. It's like, it was suddenly the missing puzzle piece, right? Mm-hmm. Because everything was there except my hero. I was like, I don't have my hero. And then I saw the Shockmaster, and I was like, now I have my fucking hero. That guy is the hero for my story, because I just immediately when I saw this, I related to it in a painful way, right? Because there's this thing that writers talk about called heroic failure, right? And the reason for heroic failure, when I'm talking about heroic failure, think, best example would be what's his face? Fucking Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark, right?
Okay.
He failed. If you watch that movie, he is the biggest failure ever. That entire movie consists of him failing. Failure after failure after failure after failure. He survives, but he fails. And that's something that people can connect with, because although not, you know, most of us don't know what it's like to run into a burning building to save a child.
Right.
Right? Bam Bam Bigelow did, right? Actually, he saved 2 kids, right? Had burns over like 75% of his body too, man.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, what a
Bam,
fuck. That's why he had those tattoos.
Chad, huh?
Yeah, man. You know, I mean, that's why he had those tattoos of flames
Okay.
on his head and on other parts of his body. Was he was covering up like the scars he had from that fire, and wearing them like, you know, a badge of pride in a sense, right?
Yeah.
You know, and they just looked cool too, right? So whatever. And you know, if anybody had a right to a fucking if anybody has a right to a victory lap, it's a guy who runs into a burning building to save a pair of kids, right?
I would hope so.
Yeah, you would hope, right? Yeah, without a doubt. But yeah, it's like most of us don't know what it's like to do something truly heroic, but most of us know what it's like to fuck up and fail, and that's what makes a character like Indiana Jones, even though he's completely fantastic and he's a pulp character out of a 1920s pulp, oddly relatable. But yeah, check this out. This is
like Ash Williams.
Like Ash Williams, like so many characters that we know and love. But yeah, this is okay. Look, I'm sorry if you can watch this and you don't understand why wrestling is the greatest thing ever. I can't do nothing for you. And I'm not saying you have to be into wrestling. You cannot be into wrestling, but still acknowledge that wrestling is the greatest thing ever. Check this out.
They're special.
Woo! Ric Flair. If you didn't know who everybody here is, we got Harlem Heat on the right, Stevie Ray and Booker T. Then we got Sid Vicious, aka Psycho Sid, aka Sid Justice, who was just like a big fucking goon with a mullet.
Yeah.
Right?
Sid Goon.
He was like, yeah, I mean, look, he was okay as a goon, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have the man, the myth, the legend. Woo! The Nature Boy in the middle. Then we've got Sting. And then we have Davey Boy Smith on the left. And everybody's going at it. And, you know, the pay-per-view is coming up. And Davey Boy Smith and Sting have a secret partner. And that partner has not been revealed yet. And Sid Vicious, a.k.a. Sid Justice, a.k.a. Psycho Sid, and Harlem Heat are madder than hell because they want to know who this mystery partner is.
Tag team partner is, brother. You better cool down.
Woo! Nature Boy.
I want to, Sting. It seems to me if you was as smart as you act like you are, you wouldn't have waited this close to War Games to tell everybody who you.
It's the War Games. It's the War Games. The War Games, which were created by, if you will, Dusty, the American Dream Rhodes. War Games being where they had 2 rings that were put together and a steel cage, if you will, placed over the two rings. And well, enough. Yeah, I mean, I don't do it particularly good, Dusty. Hail Dusty.
You want me to tell you what I'm talking? No, you shut up when I'm talking.
Now, of course, they're freestyling here. This isn't like the scripted shit today. And they're running off the fucking rails, and Sting, the Stingaroonie or Stingaroony, has to step in and fucking take charge of this fucking thing.
Who our secret partner is? Tell him, Sting. Come on, baby. No, I won't. Bishop, I'm not gonna let Sting tell the people who the secret partner is gonna be. All I have to say is, Our partner is going to shock the world.
Oh yes, he is going to shock the world. I'm telling you, the first time I saw this, I just couldn't. I died. I couldn't stop laughing.
The world because he is none other than the Shock
Master.
The Shock Master.
I told you. Oh, God.
The stormtrooper, man. It's a glitter trooper. Oh, fuck.
I can't. Oh my god, this shit still fucking kills me to this fucking day, man. Oh my god, I drove my girlfriend crazy the night I discovered this because we were like lying in bed and like just as she'd be falling off to sleep, she'd hear me go. I just couldn't stop laughing all fucking night. But yeah, you're seeing what you think you're seeing. You're seeing a man wearing a stormtrooper mask that's been like spray painted in like silver glitter.
Yeah.
This, if you will, was the master plan of Dusty Rhodes. Who, I mean, only evidently when this happened, he fell on the floor laughing. He said like he couldn't stop laughing, like they had to carry him to the fucking hotel.
None other than the Shock Master!
All right.
The Shock Master!
I told you. Oh, God.
Okay, so the analysis. Needless to say, this is an important moment in American history. And so there's been a lot of talk and discussion about it. And evidently what happened was when they were setting up the wall for him to crash through, there was a board that was along the floor. And Sid Justice / Vicious Psycho Sid evidently was watching them setting this thing up. And he was like, he's going to trip over that. And if you listen carefully, you can hear him say, I told you. And here, check it out. You gotta watch it again.
I told you.
I
Did
told
you hear it?
Yeah.
Did you hear it? I
told
told you.
I told you.
told you. And this guy, this poor guy, he was Dusty Rhodes' brother, I think, right? Because he said that his sons were at home watching this on TV, and when this happened, they were like, "I think that's Uncle Freddie." Is that Uncle Freddie? I think that's Uncle Freddie.
It must be like Dusty Rhodes' Goldust's son. You know what I mean? The one that's all popular now. I forgot.
Yeah.
It must have been him watching.
Like Cody Rhodes. Yeah.
Cody. Yeah.
And but when I saw this, first of all, I just died laughing, right? Because it's one of the fucking funniest things ever. But then I was like, I had the final puzzle piece. I was like, that's my fucking hero. Because imagine this is your moment, right? This is your debut. You've worked hard for this. You've trained for this. You've practiced for this. Who knows? You've maybe put years and years of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, and dedication into your craft. And then finally, you get your debut, and this shit happens.
Oh. This is like the most horrible nightmare that could happen to a wrestler. And then you have the helmet too. Yeah, sucks.
Dusty, what the fuck?
Did him Dusty.
That's the road. The American
road did him Dusty there.
Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and then, you have. And check this out. He talks. Here we go. Because you've seen the inciting incident, but yeah, no, it just keeps getting funnier. And watching fucking Sid Vicious / Justice / Psycho Sid keeping a straight face, I have respect for that motherfucker, man.
I told you.
I told you.
Oh, God.
I said, oh, God. Wipes his hands off.
Yep.
I don't care who you are, boy. I don't give a damn who you are.
So the Shockmaster's talking, but nothing's happening. He's just gesturing because, well, yeah, because you're gonna hear his voice here. Stevie Ray and fucking Psycho Sid. That's like Shakespearean level acting. The fact that they're not like in tears, like how are they keeping a fucking straight face?
Right.
Like, meanwhile, Dusty is in the fucking control room dying. Like on the floor in tears.
You're gonna have us. You're gonna have Van Vader, and we're gonna be breathing through your neck.
So you're the man that rules the world. They call me the Shockmaster. You've ruled the world long enough. Get ready. Come on, you want a piece of me? You want a piece of me?
Evidently, this is Ole Anderson, Arn Anderson's brother, in the back, rocking the mic. And I think in the control room, so Dusty is on the fucking floor crying, right? Like dying, right? Of oxygen debt. And that's, I guess, why there's that pause. Why Ole Anderson then is just, has to pick up the mic and do his fucking dialogue. And evidently, look, I know, you had Napoleon, you had Genghis Khan, there have been people, you had Alexander, but I missed that part in history class where Sid Vicious ruled the world.
To me, you want a piece of me? Come and get me.
You've ruled the world.
Want a piece of me?
World long enough.
Sid Vicious. Get ready. Come on, you want a piece of me?
He looks generally scared. He's spooked.
Come and get me. Come after me, Sid. I'm ready. Along with Davy Boy, Sting, and Dusty Rhodes. We'll see you at the Fall Brawl at the War Games. Until then.
Got a little promo real quick.
and I always thought that Sid Vicious / Justice Psycho Sid, that he was kind of lame. That it's like, he was a goon. But after I saw this, I was like, mad crazy respect, because he's totally staying in character. He didn't. I mean, you heard him go, "I told you."
Told you so.
I told you so. But yeah, oh my God,
that's old school. That's like old school WCW, huh?
Old school WCW when wrestling.
Like I seen Sting in there. He didn't even have his his crow paint yet.
Yep. Yeah, no, this was like super colorful, like feel good Sting, like superhero Sting.
You know who was his tag team partner was when he started out?
The Ultimate Warrior. There were the Blade Runners.
The Blade Runners. Did you see that Warrior documentary? It's like 50 minutes long.
No,
dude, it's a hard fucking recommend.
Is it really?
So good. It's on YouTube. It's whole life story. So all the Hellwigs and his family, all the men, they all die at 50. He knew he was gonna die, But he was like this kind of skinny kid from like a small town, with like a big nose, and he's like, I'm gonna be somebody. You know what I mean? He just started like working out and getting bigger and bigger and bigger until he became like this is fucking Ultimate Warrior type cat.
And never learned how to wrestle.
And then he moved to he wasn't that great of a wrestler, but
no, all he would do was he would run into the ring going, and then he'd go grab the ropes and he'd go, and that was it.
I mean, he would. No, I mean, he did like the body.
The Gorilla Slam, the Tony Atlas Gorilla. Yeah, he would. I mean,
he did some stuff. He did your basic stuff, like your entry level shit. The suplexes, body slams, military press.
Well, look, even somebody like, like Hulk Hogan, not really a wrestler. You know what I mean? Great D there. Mind you, I'm a Hollywood Hogan guy all the fucking way. But
he's an interesting character or a concept character.
Oh my god. And that was just like the best era of wrestling ever. It was at its like absolute creative peak at that moment.
They talk about all kinds of shit on that though, dude. Like they would show him like with his comic. They talk about all the. This was right after he died. Talk about all the drugs he was taking and how he's fighting with Vince McMahon all the time. It's all in there, you know. And the second day he was going to come back to WWE, he died. It's like heart exploded and shit.
Oh my god. Was this Dark Side of the Ring?
The documentary or
Yeah. Like where can I see it?
Let me see if I can find it real quick and I'll put it in the
All right.
I'll put it in the back.
Because I do have Peacock, and Peacock has got lots of rats.
Oh no, it's on YouTube, the one I watched.
Oh, okay. So it might be just like an indie thing, not like Dark Side of the Ring, or because you know what's interesting? Like all the best wrestling channels, that is to say, classic wrestling channels, are from England. At least a lot of them are. Like the English fans are really into fucking classic American wrestling.
Like the Ultimate Warrior too, like his body structure. Like he's one of my he's one of like the guys that I picked to like I'm gonna start using for models. I have like 4 different, you know, him and Brock Lesnar because they got crazy looking physiques, you know, and Hogan. That's another one.
Well, dude, that's the thing about somebody like the Ultimate Warrior was he looked like he jumped off the page of a comic book.
Yeah,
right.
And he made comics too. It was crazy.
Well, I mean, the character itself. I mean, but that was also kind of like how I saw wrestling when I was a kid. I saw it as like a live action, like soap opera / comic book, right? Where you had a clear delineation. You had the good guys, you had the bad guys, and you know. Then when you had characters like Sting and Ultimate Warrior, they were clearly dolled up to look like superheroes.
Totally, right? They're the best. That's why I don't fuck with wrestling, dude, because they stopped having cool characters.
Yep.
Got boring as fuck. Like I don't care how good of a wrestler you are, how many flips and hurricanranas you could do. Get the fuck out of here if you don't got a cool persona. I get bored with that shit.
Well,
I put that in the private chat.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon killed wrestling, and once he took it over, and once all wrestling became Vince McMahon wrestling, I stopped fucking with wrestling. Not that I don't play the wrestling video games, like the WWE 2K games. Like I'll play those, but I don't play any of the new shit. I just fucking play the classic characters, create a universe, right?
Yeah.
And they got the creator wrestlers, and just fucking build my universe that way. Because here's the thing that's really fucked up: the current generation in wrestling, that's the most talented generation that there's.
But they ain't got no characters. Their characters are ass.
Right, because they don't give them any creative leeway. It's all very carefully managed by Vince McMahon, because Vince McMahon also, one of the reasons wrestling sucks as bad as it does right now is because Vince McMahon thinks that he's Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Right? That's why
he's not running it anymore. It's Triple H now.
Triple
H now running it. It's not him anymore. Remember, because of the whole trial and all that shit?
Yeah. I mean, he's going to walk.
Yeah. But I mean, he's not running anything anymore. It's Triple H running it.
Yeah, well, it still sucks either way. They still have kids. Well, you know what? I actually saw their writer's room. And creative used to be people that were themselves wrestlers, right? People like
Triple H was. He was in there.
That's the road.
Yeah.
Right? We're in creative. You also had Bob Mould in WCW. Bob Mould, he was in a band called Husker Du, and had another band called Sugar. And so he was big in the indie scene. I remember loving his records, and then he just disappeared. And I was like, "What the fuck happened to Bob Mould?" And then came to hear that he was such a wrestling fan, specifically Ric Flair, that he would actually set the band's tour dates up so they'd be in the same town as WCW, so he could go and see Ric Flair.
I gotta agree with you. That's a good analogy. Much like Stan Lee, he fucked over a lot of people, but if it wasn't for Stan Lee, Marvel wouldn't be the way it is. Comic wouldn't be the way it is. I feel that Vince McMahon is the same exact way with wrestling. Because all the characters I liked, they wouldn't have existed without him. Kane, my favorite persona, was partly Glenn Jacobs and Vince McMahon. There was so many cool things that went through so many cool characters and things that happened was because of Vince McMahon.
Or so much
his people.
Shit,
but then also the downfall was from Vince McMahon too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like you get both of them. So I think he, eventually killed it. But dude, all those fucking personas, all the cool characters. The thing is now it's just too. It's
a lot of crappy ones too, like Doink the Clown. But
yeah, but they're fun. You know what I mean? Like get them in there and get them out. Now it's just everybody has to look cool and greased up, and they got their like full name. But
did you also notice that? Have you noticed how their physiques have changed? They're they're not huge anymore.
They're not
fucking Ed Guerrero was a cruiserweight in WCW.
Yeah,
he was a heavyweight in WWE because Vince McMahon demanded that he have a locker room full of Chippendales dancers.
Exactly.
And so it's like you either roid up or you don't work.
Yep. No,
I agree. You roid up and you work and then you die at like 50.
Exactly. Or earlier. You know what I mean? A lot of them, But again, is what it is.
Fuck that motherfucker.
Got a bunch of cool personas that would not have existed. Nothing would have existed without Vince McMahon. Facts.
No, his father.
You wouldn't have got Stone Cold. You wouldn't have got The Rock. You wouldn't have wrestling the world.
No, you had the South. I disagree. You had the South. You had the Jim Crockett promotions. Because remember, you had the territories, right? And Southern wrestling was always doper than Northeast.
For me, that's not like it's cool and all, but the personas. You wouldn't have had the big cool characters without Vince McMahon. They all went through him. He was
but you don't get any. You would, but what about the Road Warriors? The Road Warriors weren't a Vince McMahon creation, and you can't do any better than fucking Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes.
I'm not all of them, but a lot.
Right.
Like 90% of them were from WWE.
Hulk Hogan was not a Vince McMahon creation. He came, I think, from not the Southern territories, because I think there was like 3 territories. I think there was like Northeast, Northwest, and the South. And
Undertaker that came through Vince McMahon.
Undertaker.
So just Mark, just him. He had like some of the coolest like versions of the Undertaker. You could have plucked any of those Undertakers and assigned that to a different wrestler. You had the sorcerer, the biker was badass. You had the gangster. You had the fucking dude. There was so many of them.
Prince of Darkness, Undertaker.
Cowboy. Yeah, the cowboy.
When he was, what I loved was when he was like the Prince of Darkness, like when he was like turning people into zombies.
Yes, dude.
Like the acolytes, right? They were just like they were just coming at people like zombies.
Right, all that
mind control.
Hell in a Cell, the Inferno match. Even if Vince didn't, he's surrounded with people to make sure that shit happened. And also Triple H, a lot of that shit, the Network Wars. I've watched a bunch of interviews with Triple H on the stuff that he was doing. Like he got demoted because he went out on stage, I think, with Shawn Michaels and a bunch of other people that were.
They took a bow. They broke kayfabe.
They broke kayfabe, and he was talking about that and said like that inspired him to kind of everyone to break kayfabe after that. But I think some of that shit needs to get back in the bottle now. You know what I
mean? Dude, if I have to listen to another fucking wrestler talk about their character, they need to bring back. I've been saying this for years.
Bring it back, kayfabe.
Bring back kayfabe. Like who was killing it for a short period. There was a period in TNA.
They keep it in Mexico.
Where you had a broken Matt Hardy, right?
Yep.
And he was having a war with Decay, which was Rosemary, another one of my waifus, and Abyss and Crazy Steve. And they went full fucking fantasy.
That's
and
cool.
Full fucking kayfabe.
That's
and
awesome.
It was awesome.
It's like, no, I want to know I want to know where you slept at what hotel tonight and what bar you went to last night after the show. Fuck that. I don't want to know that. I want to know what dragon you slayed in a castle.
Dude.
You know what I'm saying? And who you're going to take down tonight in the ring.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's what I want.
Yes. Like fucking once again, one of the reasons why Rosemary is like one of my waifus. She would show up to interviews in character and do the interviews in character.
It's awesome.
And it was like nobody was doing that at that time.
I would. Like I said, the luchadors, they still do it. I mean, you take the mask off, you're done, son. You know what I mean? I respect them. They're I wish they would do that now. They're not doing it now though. Like Triple H is that's not what they're doing over there.
Well, look, they can wait. They can. Here's the thing: like Rey Mysterio Jr. had took off his mask because in America, and I remember, dude. Here's the thing about WCW: they had a absolute 4-star A+ undercard, and then the overcard would be like the main event would always be like kind of like a B-.
Yeah,
but like you would watch the first hour of Nitro, especially when they brought in the luchadors. It was Conan actually who brought in like a whole bunch of them, and they would have like these all luchador matches. And awesome. You're seeing these dudes bing, 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 bouncing all over the place, leaping, 3-ring circus, right? And then they would do these massive pileups where one of them would get thrown out of the ring, and then another luchador would ping, like throw himself like through the ropes or over the ropes and land on that guy. And then another one would go after him, and then another one would go after him, and then eventually there'd be a pile of like 8 of these guys, all zonked out, like right, all shook. And the audience you would see them; they'd be sitting there on their hands. They'd be like, "Yeah, so what?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." So the thing about the luchadors was, I always wondered like what the problem was. It's because in America, people see the mask as a mark of shame. You're hiding your face out of shame.
Exactly.
You don't want people to know that you're doing wrestling.
Right.
Whereas in Mexico, you're wearing the mask because you're Batman.
Exactly.
Because you're a superhero.
Santo.
Yeah, because he's fucking 24/7. Whether he was in the fucking graveyard fighting some fucking vampires, or if he was in the ring regulating on some fucking rudos, always rocking the fucking mask. At the fucking supermarket, rocking the fucking mask.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like they need to pull everybody aside. They need to fucking pull out some comic books and come up with some fucking characters.
And you know what?
It's not hard.
And you know what? I'm sure there are wrestlers that would love to do that.
Dude, and like they all got input. You know that they're gonna the wrestlers, they're artists too. They're performers. They're like Kane. You know, they're gonna have input and they're gonna
want to loose.
They're gonna bring the character. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna. I don't know, man. I wish that like they would just start a new company and just kind of split it up. Dude, I always wanted to watch that. I never got into it. The El Rey Network.
Pretty cool. The Machine versus El Patron, great rivalry. Yeah, I mean, look, it's funny because like I've still never been to Mexico City. Oh, I'm sorry, Santo City, as it should be called. But of course, if I go to Mexico, you know, it's like I know the guys at 656 were saying like, yeah, like that's what the tourists do. It's like they arrive in Mexico, they're like, I want to see some lucha libre. Yeah, 100%. I want to see. If I'm in Mexico, I want to see some fucking lucha libre. I want to see that Santos statue, although it's way too fucking small, and the Mexican people should be ashamed of themselves for not making it bigger. I mean, it's like a regular sized like statue, you know, that you'll see in any town square. You know, like a war memorial or something like that. But that shit should be like standing over the city, like the Colossus of Rhodes. You should be able to see that shit from outer space.
Like the Jesus in Brazil?
Yes. Perfect example. I
don't want to say that, but I was like,
Santo motherfuckers. Recognize. And then, of course, got to pay my respects at his mausoleum where, it's like he was entombed wearing the fucking mask. And there's a picture of his face. There's not a picture of his face on his tomb. It's the fucking mask. 24/7, 365. These motherfuckers were not fucking joking. They were serious.
Like
about
Batman, you know, like in the Dark Knight when he dies. It's not Bruce Wayne up there. It's a statue of Batman.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck yeah, man. Without a doubt. Although Santo did actually reveal his face on a talk show in Mexico.
I've seen that.
Like you've seen that, right?
Yeah.
It was like days before he died.
It's crazy.
and he must have known that he was going.
Mhm.
And it was clearly, I mean, I wish he'd been more formal about it, right? I wish he'd like made like an event of it. He's like, I'm going to take my mask off. But if it was clearly like a spur of the moment thing, it was clearly him taking a bow, right? Just like, okay, like I'm ready to peace out here. Let me take a little bow. Say goodbye, and thank you for letting me play this character that you loved so dearly. Because if you've ever seen his funeral procession, the people came out in droves. I mean, it was a massive fucking funeral procession for him. It's fucking El Santo, god damn it.
Would have to be, yeah.
Yeah, it's like in our culture, we don't have anything that even approaches that.
Yeah, they need to bring back the characters in wrestling.
They need to bring back the characters. They need to bring back fucking kayfabe and get
kayfabe all the way and take that shit serious
and get hardcore.
Yeah, and some people just probably need to take a hit, like for the team. Like somebody needs to have like a real fight, and like someone just selling that kayfabe. Like, are you serious? Does it look like I'm fucking around? Like, like punching them. You know what I mean? You think I'm you know what I mean? Think I'm kayfabing, motherfucker? And like
exactly.
That could just kind of start off. All things is 2 wrestlers, and after that, it could just kind of open the gates for everybody.
Yes.
And then everybody could just start staying in kayfabe, and the people will just become accustomed to it.
But in order for that,
man.
Right, and to be poker faced about it, like, and it's just like now, especially since like it's not a secret that it's not real, right?
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, people would always be like, "Oh, you like that fake shit, huh?"
We were all like that.
But what? Fake? Yeah. What do you mean? Like, it's fake. I'm like, what? Huh?
It took forever for us to find out it was fake because a lot of us thought it was real when we were kids,
Well, when you're a real little kid, but when I was in high school, that was my way of playing into the kayfabe. We're the fans.
When I was in high school, I didn't care.
Just like, what are you talking about? It's not real.
Like about 9th grade, 10th grade, I was like, this is just cool because I think that was around the time that like Kane was in, and there's been no one like Kane. He's the coolest character. He's 7 feet tall. He could jump off the top and
Big Red Machine. Yeah.
Surprised they never made a movie of him, a video game, like the character, not the, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just the character is so fucking cool,
Yes. Nobody's
same thing with the Undertaker. It's like
they're horror
so cool.
wrestlers. They're horror wrestlers.
Dude, he's Dr. Doom kind of, you know what I mean? To me, it was always like Dr. Doom in a way. And
right.
Again, Undertaker to me is like this eternal warrior that just keeps coming back and is getting resurrected through all these different Undertaker personas, like
right.
It's so cool, man.
Yes, no, it is.
We're gonna make a movie. They were gonna make a movie with Mark Calloway, and it was gonna be a Western, and it was gonna be called Undertaker, and he was gonna be like a cowboy
Undertaker.
That would have been good, dude.
They should have made him a supernatural gunslinger.
Yeah, that's what it was gonna be. And WWE had all these. They had all these fucking movies, and for some reason, the coolest concept out of all of them, the coolest characters they got, they didn't just take those characters and put them in the movies. And I was saying that too. That was another thing. I was like, these characters, they need to bring these big characters back, right? And make actual movies with the wrestlers playing their characters in the movies, like you know what I mean? Like make a Kane and Undertaker movie where it's like a fantasy movie. Then the kids can watch it, and then they can go, "Oh, I just seen the movie, now I'm watching them here live, Daddy." You know what I mean?
Open the movie.
Make the toys, the comics, the video games.
Yes.
Stupid as fuck. Yes. They can be making tons of money on all this shit, especially
open the movie with the fire.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a whole mythology there, right? The story's already written.
Yeah, and he's like a character too that could be like Zorro. Like Kane could, you could have another actor come in and play him. I think there's a lot to do, like a lot that could be.
And then you have the Brothers of Destruction for like the sequel or for the third movie.
Have you write it, dude? You'd write the shit out of it, bro.
Oh, dude, I would love to. Oh, I would write the shit out of it.
That'd be so cool.
Oh my god, I love me some wrestling.
That's my thing. I don't know who I was talking to about that. I was on somebody's stream. We were talking about wrestling. I was like, they need to make movies of the characters, the personas that they are, and then have people come watch them live and then go watch the movie.
I've never understood why they haven't done that.
It's just kind of like low hanging fruit. It's like easy to do.
It's so obvious too. It's just like, right? I mean, it's just like the Marine or the Scorpion King, right? Fucking, which is a good movie. You know, it's.
Yeah, I like that first one. That first Scorpion King.
Yeah.
It's fucking dope. It was like his Conan.
As good as you could, as close as we could get to a Conan movie at that time. It was Chuck Russell, who was a good director. But real quick, since we're talking about.
See, and if I was The Rock, I would have came out like I would have been the rest. I would have been the Scorpion King, you know. But Universal owned that character, you know. And WWE though, they own all those characters, and they had WWE movies. They had the films like the Marine.
I remember
12 rounds. They're still making movies. There's no Undertaker movie. There's no Kane movie. You guys are fucking retarded, you know.
Yeah, well, it's like
leaving money on the table.
The thing is, too, it's like now it's kind of too late for that. You know, I mean, they've just aged so much. It's like missed opportunity. They done fucked up, son. Is what they done up.
But there's new. That's what I'm saying, though, man. You make some new personas, you know, and once there's one that really takes off, like a Kane, not Kane, but something like a Kane or an Undertaker or an Ultimate Warrior. Imagine an Ultimate Warrior movie, you know, where he's like some barbarian tribal dude that's fighting dinosaurs and monsters and shit, you know, like
make him like Spawn, where you can just like have like a medieval version, Viking version, gunslinger.
Yeah,
version.
dude, like Eternal Warrior.
Yep.
Or Berserker with Keanu Reeves, same shit.
The Red Coat, and that's a really good series. That's from Ghost Machine right now.
Yeah.
He's like an Eternal Warrior like that too.
There's a lot of these Eternal Warrior archetype characters in comics now. I actually have one myself too. I have a really good concept too, but I just don't have time to do it.
Oh, and speaking of Eternal Warriors, the Henry Cavill
Highlander
is going to be coming out soon. Like, there's evidently been some.
There hasn't been any, like, they haven't started rolling yet. But when's this book coming out, man? When's Blood Moon Stomp coming?
I don't know. I have to ask my boy Adam Lawson. But I think it's going to be this summer or this fall. Here's the thing. Right now, it's just a brutal time for crowdfunding.
Yeah. I'm launching I'm going to launch in March. I know what day I want to, but I got to make sure I can.
Machete team up with a printed
money. Dude. Like, it could just be fun, dude. Like, you could literally have, you know, like El Santo did it. It was basically, I took El Santo's idea, like his concept, you know, but launch it with the video game and a comic book and toys, and sell the tickets to see it live. You can really clean your house.
A little bit of a non sequitur, but you know, one of the things about like video game, movies are based on games that are based off of movies. You know, they have a reputation for sucking ass.
Most of them do, yeah. Most of them do.
Right. As mad as I am at George Miller for Mad Max Fury Road. And I understand why people love it, and there is a lot to love in it. You know, I mean, you know, the fucking flamethrower guitar is maybe the most metal thing ever.
Yeah,
I'll concede that, but it's still a kinder, gentler, pussified Mad Max for feminists, for male feminists.
Yeah, Mad Maxi Pad. Yeah,
Mad Maxi Pad, right? But he actually sat on that movie for like a year or 2 years until they finished the video game, and they had the video game tight.
That's dope.
Right? And it's just like, damn, that's like
it's a good game, huh?
That's a long game playing motherfucker right there.
Yeah. Hey, dude, I like Furiosa, bro. I liked it.
I refused.
And I didn't even watch it all, bro. I watched part of it. It's just, for me, the problem was calling it, just having the name Mad Max so big in the title of Furiosa, you know?
Well, and Mad Max Fury Road is a Furiosa movie. So it's just like, we're having a Furiosa spinoff. What are you talking about? Mad Max Fury Road, Mad Max Road bitch in his own movie.
They should call it like, I mean, we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
Like they should have called it like a Wasteland Tale, you know? Wasteland Tales, Furiosa. Wasteland Tales, Furiosa Origins, or some bullshit, you know? Don't call it fucking Mad Max.
Thank you. Yeah. Because, I mean, look, the original Mad Max is fucking sacred to me. And the Mad Max 2 is sacred to me. Mad Max 3, that was a kinder, gentler kind of pussified.
That's my favorite. At least the first.
That's a
half
lot of
would be.
people. I know, and I've softened on it over the years.
Well, it
It
gets
just
boring,
gets all
dude.
fucked up when he runs into the kids.
Yeah, it's like as soon as he leaves Thunderdome, I just want to turn it off. You know.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. And also, we got cheated out of what, at least what I felt was a promise, right? Like when you're making a comic book, for instance, like with Six Gun Gorilla, I was like I need to have a Six Gun Gorilla within the first fucking 4 or 5 pages, right? You're making a contract with the reader, like you're gonna get this, right? Or if you're gonna have, Batman versus Superman, there better be a Batman versus Superman fight, right? You're making a contract with your audience, but in the first Mad Max, what did you get? Motorcycle versus Mack truck. Then what did you get? Car versus Mack truck. And I was thinking Mad Max 3, Mack truck versus Mack truck. I wanted to see a fucking head-on collision between fucking 2 Mack trucks. That's all I'm saying. And you didn't get that shit or anything even close to it. I mean, I would have forgiven the movie for not having that and just for not being so. But I mean, that's the thing. Mel Gibson was at that point a sex symbol and a movie star. And so I knew there was no way that movie was going to get as raw, and that character wasn't going to get as raw with motherfuckers the way that he did in 1 and 2, because he fucks people up badly,
right?
And gets fucked up badly too. That's one of the reasons I always loved that character. Wasn't just because he could whip ass, was because he could get his ass whipped and just keep coming like a fucking machine. There's that moment.
What I liked about that Thunderdome though is it actually had the fight scenes in that movie. He had no fight scenes in the first 2 movies. So I was like,
yes, it was something new and it was awesome. And George Miller actually only directed the action sequences, and everything else was directed by another director.
He's like, all right, I'm out of here. This shit sucks. You could do the end. But I like the Morton Joe. I like the forgot Hemsworth's character. I think he's cool too. I like all the different
Fuck you, Tank. Fuck you. Now look, I'm not gonna look. If somebody loves something, they enjoy it, they get a kick out of it. I'm all for it.
Dude, Hemsworth is brutal in that movie, dude. Just watch it for Hemsworth's character. Dude, just like, I mean, when you see Hemsworth and Joe, you're like, Mad Max is a fucking pussy.
Yeah,
compared to these fools. Like these fools are they're like Titan like kings of the wasteland. Mad Max is gonna win, but it's like he's not on their level. Like it's like these guys are evil fucking warlords. That's how big the
Mad Max is the guy who fucks them up. Is what I'm saying. He's the one that fucking destroyed the Humongous. He's the one who killed the fucking toe cutter.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I don't know about these guys though.
Well, look, but I mean, the point is the hero is supposed to be Mad Max.
Yeah.
And look, the reason here's the thing: when you're a kid, the stuff that you love when you were a kid, you kind of stay a little fanatical about when you get old.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And so for me, you have to understand the original Mad Max and Mad Max 2. That was my shit.
Yeah.
Conan the Barbarian was my shit. The Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. That was my shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the stuff that's your shit, that remains your shit, you become possessive over, and then you see it changed for another generation.
Yeah.
It was like when Mark Hamill was going, I understand, that was old Star Wars. This is new Star Wars. Yeah. Well, new Star Wars sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm saying new Mad Max, I understand what people get out of it, because there are things that are cool about it.
Yeah.
But there's no fun. But call it something else then.
That's what I was saying. Call it Wasteland Tales.
Something else.
Wasteland Tales or Wasteland Stories Furiosa. Wasteland Stories Immortan Joe. Thing is, Mad Max prints money. The title was, Well,
exactly. That's what gets asses in the
branding is everything.
That's what the bait was. That was the bait, and then Furiosa's the switch.
Yep.
And I'm sick and tired of being baited and fucking switched. And that's why I don't fuck with anything until I get the good word. Like X-Men 97, I didn't fuck with that shit until I got the good word. And people were telling me, yo, it's dope. Check it out. And I heard that from enough people. And I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And I loved it to bits.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But anything else that's like a property, right? I have to fucking, I'm not fucking, I've been baited and switched too many fucking times. I don't trust you motherfuckers. I don't trust any of you motherfuckers.
I'm recommending Dexter to you now. You got to watch Dexter.
But I've got all this other shit to watch. And how many seasons of Dexter are there?
Let's see. There's I think there's the first 9 season. Then there's season 10.
How many fucking seasons? And how many episodes per season?
Hold on. So there's 9. Then there's season 10, which is 1 season, which was, then there's season 11, which is the origin, which has all new actors playing the characters younger. And then they have the new one coming out in July, which is Dexter Resurrection.
Well, dude, I haven't even watched the fucking Sopranos yet, and I still have people up my ass about
I haven't watched that either. But for me, Dexter, he's like the Punisher. You know what I mean? He's a crime fighter. You know,
it's too much shit.
So I was like, yeah, that's why I like it.
Oh,
this looks sick right here. The artwork. Can't wait for that book.
Yeah, it's Maxi Diallo.
He's awesome.
Yeah, and Mike Spicer on the colors on this book.
Yeah, he's a great colorist too.
Oh,
one of my favorites.
God. Oh my God.
Right now.
Yeah, he is. And but yeah, Adam came to me and he said, he'd read Tequila Moonrise and he was like, this is great. There's no way it's getting made, right? Because you're not Mexican yet, and everybody needs to stay in their lane. Right? Not that was him telling me that. It was him just explaining, right? And what everybody already knows. But he was like, but how would you, what would you be up for, like, writing The Wrestler Meets The Shining? And I was like, yes. Like, hell yes. Like, count me in immediately. And what can I say? I had a great experience working with Adam. I've always had nothing but a great experience working with him. He is a guy that works great as an editor in the sense that any changes that he wanted me to make were all to the betterment of the work.
Good.
Like, in other words, right? Because I'm like ready to throw down for my shit, right? It's just like, you want to make changes, cool, and this is a work for hire situation, but we're going to at least have a fucking discussion if I disagree. And I've never had to do that with him. Like, every single time I'm like, yeah, that does actually make shit better. Yeah, okay. Like, every single time. And then, of course, he knocked it out of the park with Phil on Psycho Slumber, which I don't know if people can still back this, actually.
You can probably buy it at Phil's store, I bet, because they have like...
That's right.
ZadeComics.com. I'm pretty sure they have it up on there.
Excellent. This was really, really good.
I got to read that too. So
very good. Yeah, recommended. It's the good shit. It's the dope shit. It's the fly shit. And I'm excited for the future, man. I'm excited for the future. A lot of people got it popping off. It's interesting because these are really discouraging times just in terms of the economy. Mm-hmm. But everything that's discouraging is just the economy.
Yeah, pretty much. That and the distribution for like the stores, because I like you got to get your book in stores. It's always cool,
Yeah, some things we're gonna figure shit out, and then of course with the death of Diamond, hopefully that'll get replaced by something cool.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with that. Nobody does really.
We don't. And I'm hoping it's going to be something epic. I hope that it's actually going to be something really good, because really, could anything have been worse than fucking Diamond?
Yes. No comic book stores.
No comic book stores. Right. But there's something's going to happen. Somebody's going to fucking step into fucking full.
Hopefully, dude. I mean, hopefully it just doesn't, die out.
I don't
it's just going to be this,
And then all we have is manga. That's it.
Yeah. Well, manga
and I like look, Japanese comics are dope, but I don't want to just read Japanese comics.
They're dope, but they're not that dope for me.
Well, it depends on the comic, just like anything else, right? Like Berserk is the shit. Fist of the North Star is the shit.
Yeah, but they don't really put out stuff like that anymore.
Goblin Slayer is great. One Punch Man is great. Metal Detroit Metal City. Have you ever? Oh God, have you ever? Oh dude, if you haven't read that, or the anime is really hard to get a hold of.
Yeah.
The manga you can find online. Do you know about? Are you even familiar with that? I should piece out real soon, but maybe I should look up and see if I can find a fucking trailer for that shit. It's one of the fucking funniest things ever. It's
dude, I'm not really up on the manga game, to be honest.
Oh, dude,
or
there's
anime. I am, but I'm not. I mostly just like the old shit too from the 80s. You know, like you said, Fist of the North Star, Vampire Hunter D, Akira,
Satsugai,
Ninja Scroll.
Oh, that's right. Fucking.
I know Chainsaw Man's like the big thing now. Like a lot of kids like that shit.
Chainsaw Man's very good. Man is very good. That's right. For Detroit Metal City, fucking Slipknot did their song.
Oh, really?
Satsugai. Yeah, which means murder.
But also France, dude. You know, and the Franco-Belgian, books. Those are still going.
Oh, well, dude.
And Indie's always going to be here, dude. It's just going to be
French comics are the shit.
Also, American mainstream comics are boutique now. People don't read comics; they go watch the movies. I came to that realization a couple days ago. Just like, yeah, just comics in general are boutique now.
Yes, and you look at manga, and it's everywhere.
Yeah,
and that does actually give me hope. Because
also the Dogman books,
right, absolutely, or Captain Underpants and shit like that.
Exactly.
Right. So hopefully things will open, things will change, things will. I mean, look, let's face it. The kids that are reading manga are never going to read American comics. It's not going to.
They might, probably not, but they might.
Some of them, a little handful, although that could end up. Manga's so huge, it could be bigger than just a little handful. There are going to be some of these kids are going to fall in love with the medium, and they're going to get curious, and they're going to be like, "Shit, I love Japanese comics. What are American comics like? What are French
that's how
comics like?
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. What are Argentinian comics like?
Right. I'm the same way.
And it's always cool. I'm the same way with movies. Right? I'm always interested. It's just like, I love me some horror. What's Chinese horror like? What's Japanese horror like? What's Brazilian horror like? Right? Because Spanish horror, Italian horror, everybody brings their own fucking flavor to that shit. It's all different. And that's what you love, is discovering somebody that has like a fresh take on some old shit. But yeah, let me bring up this little clip here. Let's see, before I peace out, because I gotta fucking get ready for fucking bed, man. I've been a bad boy. I've been a naughty boy. Hold on, let me move this thing here. Fuck you, Streamlabs. There we go. Yeah, this shit is really hard to find, but if you can find it, I recommend looking for it. It is worth hunting down. This is not the manga. This is the animated version of Detroit Metal City, also known as DMC. Unfortunately, you're not getting the sub. This isn't subtitled because you got to hear the fucking lyrics, because the lyrics are fucking hilarious. The plot is great because it's about this band called Detroit Metal City, also known as Demshi, and they're led by this guy named Kaiser, who is from hell, right? And can manifest himself or manifest just his severed head. In some instances, at least this is what the fans think. What the truth is that this kid that is the lead singer is doing this almost reluctantly, because where his true heart is in bubblegum pop. And he has a song. Basically what he does is that's what he does to make a living. And then he's like a busker because nobody wants to hear his music, unfortunately, because his music is about like going out on a date with a girl. Like his song is about going out on a date with his girlfriend, and she's baked him a cheese tart. And so he's going out and they're having a lovely day and they're going to the park and they're doing this and they're doing that. And he has this cheese tart and he doesn't want to eat it because it's a symbol of her love for him. That's the shit he's singing about, right? And he's like, well, maybe tonight's the night, we seal the deal, but maybe it's a little too soon. But by night, he's doing this shit.
The fuck? Crazy.
Yeah, look for this shit. I'm trying to. It's so goddamn funny. It's so damn funny. And like I said, it's based on a comic book.
Yeah.
And the comic book is pretty damn funny too. Because and actually, you know what? They have a live action version of this.
Oh, really?
Too. Yeah.
It's pretty big over there.
Let's see. I think this is it actually right here. Yeah, and I've seen this, and it's okay, but it's nowhere near as funny as the anime or the manga. Because unfortunately, the Japanese.
僕はおしゃれなミュージシャンになりたい。でも今僕のやっているバンドは。
Yeah, so that's him singing his cheese tart girlfriend song.
でも今僕のやっているバンドは。
Come on!
僕らは悪魔系メタルバンド DMC こと
DMC
デトロイトメタルシティ。気がついたらこのバンドをやらされていたんだ。この鬼社長に。
Exactly like the comic book character.
僕がやりたかったのはこんな音楽じゃない。
But have you noticed that about the Japanese? That when they do a live action or an animated version of a comic book, that the characters actually look like the characters on the comic book? Like exactly. Yeah, it's like they don't have a problem with that. Why do we?
Right.
こんなバンドじゃないんだよ。
こうして僕の意思とは反対に DMC はどんどん世間で注目されるようになった。
Oh yeah, and then he's in love with this girl that he knew from college. And he runs into her again and they reconnect and he's just crushing on her mad crazy. And she's like a pop music reporter and like for like a pop music magazine. And she's just disgusted by DMC.
Detroit Metal City.
And yes, that was Gene Simmons from Kiss.
That was like Gene Simmons. Yeah, this is definitely a big ode to Kiss, for sure. Like Detroit Rock City,
For sure. Except they're way more evil. The band itself is way more evil than Kiss. Like, they're a death metal band.
Yeah, for sure. A little bit of black metal thrown in, too.
Yep. Well, yeah, I mean, you look at like the black metal corpse paint. What the first thing it always made me think of was kabuki makeup.
Well, yeah, that and then they all listen to Kiss too. Like 90%, 90%, but a lot of them admitted to listen to Kiss, dude. The black metal bands.
Detroit Metal City.
Yeah, that's the fuck song. Fuck.
That's funny.
Fuck. Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, I think Slipknot actually covered their shit.
Oh really?
Yeah. I'm pretty.
They were in Rollerball. I remember that one for a few minutes.
Oh my god, that's right. That Roland Emmerich remake of Rollerball, which I've never bothered watching.
I only seen like a couple scenes. I just remember seeing that part though. It's funny.
Heinous, man. Just, I mean, yeah. I was just when I found out what they, because I love the original Rollerball. I think that's an awesome movie, and actually the hero in that, absolutely Barbarian. Totally. If you haven't seen the original have you seen the original Rollerball?
No.
Check that shit out. I have a relationship with that movie in that like 1 year I'll watch it and I'll think it's like the most awesome thing ever, and then another year I'll watch it and I'll think, damn, this is like some pretentious, preachy fucking bullshit. And I'll watch it again and I'll be like, no, what the fuck was I thinking? No, this is awesome. It's just a lot of people think that movie's about something a lot more preachy than what it is actually about. But yeah, it's about a guy. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but if you've never seen the original Rollerball, watch that shit and just remember what I said about the hero in that, Jonathan E. being a barbarian.
Check it out.
Yeah. Dude, good talking to you.
You too, man.
What do you got planned? Do you want any shit you want to pimp?
No, not really. Just my channel. If you guys want to check it out, it's Metal Movies and Brewskis, and I do live shows on Saturday at midnight Eastern time, where we talk about those such things and comics and whatnot. And I'm working on some comics. One's called Hell War. I'm going to launch it in March, hopefully, and then I'm also working on the Puritanian with this guy right here. So that'll probably be launched sometime. I don't know. Probably in a year or so. I don't know. Maybe something like that. We're still working on
it. It'll be ready when it's ready. Goddamn.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But it's also going to be ready, which is to say people aren't going to have to wait fucking 3, 4, 5 years for that shit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because we know that shit don't fly no more. But dude, thank you so much for hanging out. Good talking to you. Sure. Got to make up for yesterday.
That's all good, man. I went hella late, dude, that night.
I know. And I've been trying to get my ass to bed earlier.
You should.
I've been a naughty motherfucker. But thanks for hanging out. Good seeing you. And everybody that's hanging out, that's watching, much love to you. Go back, my comic, his comic. Go back indie comics is what I'm saying. Right now, the whole scene needs your love, and that just goes like across the board. But anyway,
go back Pete's printing thing. Get yourself
I forgot to bring
yourself a proof for your comic. You know what I mean? For $25.
That's a really fucking good idea, and I do need to do that, and we do need to get behind that too. But anyway, everybody, thanks for hanging out. Thank you for hanging out, brother man, and peace and love, everybody. Audi 5000.